Do you find a lot of reasons why you can't stick to your routines while traveling for work? Or maybe you feel like you're traveling for work so much that it doesn't even make sense to start a new routine in the first place? If you said yes to any of these questions, then today's video is for you, because in today's video I want to talk with you about the question, how can you keep your work-life balance while traveling for work? So let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Julia Arndt and I'm a peak performance coach and stress management trainer. And I'm really excited to talk with you today about the question, how can you keep your work-life balance? How can you keep your good routines while traveling for work? This is a question that I get very often from clients that I'm working with, because I know that many of you are struggling with that question and many of you are finding a lot of good excuses why it is really not possible to stick to your routines while traveling for work. So today I want to give you a couple of really simple but really effective and powerful strategies on how you can stick to your routines while traveling for work. So let's get started with strategy number one. Strategy number one is by far probably the easiest and yet most effective and powerful strategy there is, which is make a plan. This is where I see a lot of people fail all the time because they simply do not make a plan. But where there is a will, there is a way. And if you find it really important to stick to your routines, you will most certainly find a way. So the first question really is, are you really motivated to stick to your routines even while traveling for work? Or do you find it actually a great excuse to not have to go for a run or to the gym or eating healthy while traveling for work? It is not a vacation, and especially if you are traveling for work a lot, you want to make sure that you are establishing a couple of really powerful routines to help you stay the performer that you are. So make a plan. If it is really important for you to, for example, journal in the morning, or have a glass of lemon water in the morning, or to not check your phone for the first 30 minutes in the morning, those are all things that are absolutely possible if you make a plan. So the first step in making this plan is asking yourself the question, what routine do I want to stick to even while traveling for work? And maybe you write down all of the different routines now that you're doing usually throughout the day when you're being home, and you realize that you can't stick through all of them. And that's totally okay as well, because we are striving here for progress, not for perfection. So maybe choose one or two or three different routines that you have written down that are absolutely crucial for you to do even while traveling for work. So I already gave you a few examples and the things that are really important for me, and I'm just going to repeat myself, but I think it is really important to just have these few routines. So for me specifically, it is that I am drinking lemon water in the morning, that I'm journaling and I'm practicing gratitude, that I'm going outside for at least 15 minutes, and that I do not check my phone for the first at least 30 minutes when I'm starting my day. So now that you have these routines, right, you have your routines, it does not absolutely have to be the same routines that I have, but now you have your routines that you would like to keep in place. And now obviously the next question is going to be, what do you need in order to still stick to that routine when you are traveling for work? And I'm going to give you really clear examples again from the routines that I chose. For my journaling, obviously I need to bring my journal. So I need to make sure that I'm bringing my journal. Step number one. Number two, I need to make sure sometimes that I'm bringing 1 or 2 lemons. Well, this is super simple, right? And obviously I also need to make sure that I have water in my hotel room. So either I'm bringing water myself or I'm asking the hotel to bring me some water to the room, right? Routine number two, super easily fulfilled, right? I'm bringing my own lemons and I have some water, and boom, I can drink my lemon water in the morning. Step number three, It is really important for me to move my body. So yes, I am bringing my running shoes because I like to run and I can run anywhere at any time. It's the easiest exercise to do. Most of the hotels, let's be honest, nowadays have gyms as well. So there's not really any reason why you can't exercise while you're traveling for work. And trust me, I always hear so many excuses and examples of why you can't do that. So just bring your shoes, just bring your workout gear and let's see where it takes you, right? So that's the third thing. And then the fourth thing that I said was to not check my phone. And obviously I just need to bring my phone and I need to make a good plan about when I'm going to be able to show up for client meetings or in a different office and so on and so on, okay? But this is really the most important and most effective step when you want to stick to your routines while traveling for work. Make a plan. Make a plan and stick to the plan. You need to make a plan and then take action. And obviously the taking action part is sometimes a little bit tricky, especially when you're having a lot of social gatherings while traveling for work. Which brings me to strategy number 2, that it is absolutely okay to say no. One of the reasons that you always tell me why you find it so difficult to stick to your routines while traveling for work is obviously a time factor and a time question. And you tell me I have so many engagements and so many commitments while traveling for work that it is really hard for me to stick to my routines. So again, it's all about the plan, but it is also about your space and your boundaries. So let's talk about a couple of different things here and a couple of different reasons why, first of all, it is okay to say no and why you can still stick to your routines even while traveling for work. First of all, we all know, you've been watching my videos, you've been practicing self-care or you've been trying to manage your stress levels better, and you know that it is really, really important to create space in order to refuel yourself, to refill your own energy levels. Because if that is not the case, it's going to be really hard for you to show up as your best self in client meetings, in social gatherings, because you're going to be tired. And when you are tired, you usually have less mental capacity and you have less mental strength in order to make the right decisions. So you're probably going to say yes to the next glass of wine, and you're going to say yes to the dessert that you really didn't want to eat because you've been really good about your diet and about your fitness, right? But when we're not taking care of ourselves, then it is really, really difficult to stay strong in these different moments. And that is why you are creating space for yourself. And again, it goes hand in hand with planning. It is important that you're creating times on your calendar where you can actually recharge. It's not that difficult because you are managing your own time, even when you're traveling for work, even though it might not feel like that, but you can always create some space. You can always find 15 minutes or 30 minutes to leave the office from your employer or from your client and to say, I'm going to take a 15 to 30 minute breaks for myself, and to have a glass of water or a tea or a coffee and walk around and just recharge and disconnect. It will really make all the difference. And I'm not just saying that, I'm saying this because I know it is so true and it is so powerful, because we are not taking these times to recharge, even though sometimes it's just so little that we need in order to be much more effective and to show up so much better. And if you are a highly sensitive person like me, you need absolutely downtime and complete disconnect in order to recharge your energy levels. So if you have a couple of really important meetings with your clients, then it is absolutely okay as well to say no to social events. Obviously, it is important that you are showing up as well for your clients, but again, it is all about how you are managing your time. And maybe now you're thinking, but I'm really not good at managing my time, which is also an excuse. And I have a lot of material on my YouTube channel that you can watch in order to better manage your time and calendar. And all of these different strategies apply just as well to when you're traveling for work as well. So make sure that you're creating space for yourself. Make sure that you're creating space in the morning to have your morning routine. Make sure that you're creating some space maybe in the afternoon between work and social gatherings to refuel your own energy levels. It's all about planning and then taking action and just sticking to your own plan. And the final strategy that I have for you in order to make sure that you're sticking to your routines while traveling for work is to get enough sleep. You know, I've been talking more about getting enough sleep in my YouTube videos, and the reason why that is because I have been realizing myself how important it is to get enough sleep, and if I don't get enough sleep, I cannot show up as my best self. I feel super tired, super overwhelmed. I let emotions get the best of me because I'm just drained and I just don't have the mental capacity. And so, especially when you're traveling for work, maybe you're even working from a different time zone, it is so important that you're getting enough sleep. And you should ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1, how many hours of sleep do you need per night in order to show up as your best self the next day? And then question number 2 is, what do you need in order to get your best sleep? Because you're not sleeping at home, so what do you need? Maybe you need earplugs, maybe you need an eye mask, maybe you need a meditation or a pillow or whatever you need in order to feel comfortable. Maybe some pajamas that you're bringing from home. Again, make a plan and stick to that. And then, because you're asking yourself the question of how many hours of sleep you need at night, well, then obviously you need to plan accordingly. Make sure that you're winding down at night before you're going to sleep in order to make sure that you're getting those numbers of hours of sleep in. Make sure that you're setting an alarm for the next day, for the next morning, that you get your morning routine and that you're doing the things that actually fuel you with energy and help you to show up as your best self the next day with your clients. And that's basically it. It is absolutely possible to do the things that you're doing at home also while traveling for work. Make a plan, ask yourself the questions, what do I want to do? What do I need to bring? And then just stick to the plan and just be ruthless, especially at the start. There are so many different videos on my YouTube channel about time management, about setting and creating new routines, about saying no and setting boundaries. So make sure that you check these resources out as well. They are there for you. I've created them for you in order to help you be your best self as often as possible, right? I know it's impossible to always be your best self, but as often as possible. Let's strive for that. If you have any questions for me, please do not hesitate to drop them down below here in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe to my channel to be notified every week when I'm posting new content for you. And I really do hope to see you in the next video. So take care of yourself and see you really soon.